The largest nuclear explosions in history. 7 years after dropping atomic weapons over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the United States detonated the world's first thermonuclear weapon, the hydrogen bomb, on November 1, 1952. The test occurred on Eniwetok Atoll in the Pacific, and the device, codenamed Ivy Mike, yielded an explosion equivalent to the destructive power of 10.4 megatons of TNT. It was 1,000 times more powerful than conventional nuclear devices of the time. Edward Teller, a physicist and ardent supporter of the development of the hydrogen bomb, was able to detect the detonation 5,000 miles away, in Berkeley, California, by observing a seismometer which detected the blast shock waves moving through the Earth. Codenamed Castle Bravo, the United States' first test of a dry-fuel hydrogen bomb took place on March 1, 1954. Detonated at Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands, Castle Bravo is the most powerful nuclear device ever tested by the United States, with a yield of 15 megatons of TNT. The explosion, far larger than the expected yield of 4 to 8 megatons, coupled with shifting winds, resulted in widespread radioactive contamination of the area and adverse conditions for the native people who live there. The 1957 novel On the Beach was inspired by the Castle Bravo test and depicted a world dying of radiation after an atomic war. Just 1 month later, on March 27, 1954, the United States continued their Operation Castle nuclear tests with Castle Romeo, the first test of the TX-17 thermonuclear weapon. Castle Romeo, also detonated at Bikini Atoll, was a weaponized dry fusion bomb that again exceeded original expectations for total explosive yield. Romeo was the first nuclear test conducted on a barge, which was necessary because the explosions were blowing vast holes in the natural reefs of the islands. Originally expected to produce a yield of 4 megatons, Castle Romeo was the third largest test ever detonated by the United States, producing a blast of 11 megatons. That same year, Castle Yankee was the codename given to a test weapon detonated at Bikini Atoll on May 5, 1954. The Runt 2 nuclear device used partially enriched lithium fuel for the fusion stage and yielded a 13.5 megaton blast. The yield was still greater than predicted due to the enriched fuel and fast fission of the natural uranium tamper within the device. Ending a 2-year moratorium on nuclear testing between the United States and Soviet Union, the Soviet Union conducted its largest and most intensive battery of nuclear tests ever in 1961. On October 23, 1961, in the Novaya Zemlya area of the Western Arctic, a weapon producing 12.5 megatons was detonated in test number 123. Novaya Zemlya is a pair of islands between the Barents Sea and the Kara Sea that measure 32,000 square miles in area, or about the size of the state of South Carolina. Many thermonuclear tests during this period were conducted on or around these islands, the largest of which occurred on October 30, 1961. The Tsar Bomba was the most powerful nuclear weapon ever created by mankind and yielded a 50 megaton blast. That's over 1,350 times more powerful than the combined energy of the bombs that destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Tsar Bomba was so big that it required a specially modified Tu-95V bomber to carry it, and the device was outfitted with a parachute to slow its descent long enough to prevent the release and observer planes from being destroyed in the blast. The explosion was so devastating that its shockwave damaged windows over 550 miles away, and the flash was so bright that it could be seen from more than 620 miles away. The following year, on August 5, 1962, another incredibly large Soviet thermonuclear test delivered a blast of 21.1 megatons. Test number 147 was an airdrop test that detonated 11,800 feet above sea level at the Novaya Zemlya test location. That's 7 times as high as the Willis Tower in Chicago. On September 25th and 27th of 1962, 2 hydrogen weapons were tested yielding 19.1 and 20 megaton blasts, respectively. Again tested at Novaya Zemlya, test number 173 and 174 were airdropped and detonated at an altitude of about 13,000 feet. Just weeks after these tests, the United States would discover the presence of nuclear-armed Soviet missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. This sparked the 13-day military standoff and naval blockade known as the Cuban Missile Crisis.
In the interest of international peace and security, all concerned should refrain from any action which may aggravate the situation and bring with it the risk of war.
nuclear catastrophe was narrowly avoided when Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev offered to remove the missiles from Cuba in exchange for the US promising not to invade the island and removing their nuclear weapons from strategic locations in Turkey. The second largest nuclear test in history, also conducted by the Soviets, took place on Christmas Eve, 1962. It was a thermonuclear fusion bomb, delivered via an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM. It yielded 24.2 megatons and had a destruction radius of about 6 miles, or about a quarter of the size of Los Angeles. Test number 219 was one of the last atmospheric nuclear tests conducted by the Soviet Union. Less than a year later, on August 5, 1963, the governments of the Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and United States signed the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. This prohibited all test detonations of nuclear weapons in the atmosphere, outer space, or underwater, and was designed to slow the arms race and stop the excessive release of nuclear fallout into the Earth's atmosphere. Underground tests were still permitted under the treaty and continued until September 10, 1996, when the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly. The only countries not to have signed the treaty are India, Pakistan, and North Korea. To date, the nuclear powers have detonated 2,475 devices in over 2,000 nuclear tests. 1,054 of those tests were conducted by the United States.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Bukah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of great Millstone, who well and taught us this truth. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai's sake. My brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yet, the reason why I brought up the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5, all right, is because that video you just watched, you saw a history of all nuclear tests. And it goes to show you that, nuclear war happening on this planet is not far-fetched, all right? It's reality. And I came across a term that this video used. All right, I guess they were doing their research on all the nuclear tests and all the treaties that were created. But I came across one term that they brought out, which was the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. And I was like looking into this, and it goes to show you that when you read into this, that these nations have not put in force this treaty. And so as of right now, they're able to still conduct nuclear tests, all right, in secret, mainly underground. So let's look at this. It says the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty is a multilateral treaty that bans all nuclear explosions for both civilian and military purposes in all environments. It was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on the 10th September 1996. All right, so if you were born after 1950s, all right, the main two countries, the main nations that were testing nukes were America and Russia. All right, and up until the 1996, the United Nations finally wanted to put out a treaty to ban all these nuclear tests. But watch this. But has not entered into force as 8 specific states have not ratified the treaty. Yeah, they might have signed it, but they didn't ratify it. All right, because you have other nations that didn't even want to sign it, or other nations that are not ratifying it. So when you go to here, it says participation in the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Notice it says participation. All right. If you look at the blue, these are the ones that signed and ratified. Okay? Russia signed it and ratified it. Okay? You've had Japan All right? But which nations did not? America did not. Signed it but not ratify it. China signed it but not ratify it. Iran signed it but not ratify it. Egypt signed it but not ratify it. I believe this is Israel right here. Israel, the where the fake Jews live at. Israelis, the fake is wannabe Jews. They didn't ratify it. And countries that didn't sign it at all: India, Pakistan, North Korea. So what does this tell you? This tells you that all these nations are still in play testing their missiles. All right, because until they all sign it, all right, as of right now, they're able to still test their nuclear missiles. All right, and that goes to show you that, hey, this is of Yahweh Bashim Shai, because he's putting a spirit on all these nations to get ready for World War III, which will be, once again, book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's what the next war is going to be, with fire. Intercontinental ballistic missiles being shot at a city near you. And this is of the Lord, because he put the spirit on these devils to create this stuff. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Right. So that's why the Comprehensive Nuclear Ban Treaty, all right, isn't going, be implemented on the earth, is because this is of the Lord. He's making sure, all right, that these scientists build these nukes so that your military can use them on each other. Point blank, period. What about us? All right, Lord, we're not part of the elect, but that's the reason why I push this word out. Okay, make these videos, go on the highways and byways, because I don't want to partake in that fire. All right, Isaiah 54 and 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. Right. So no weapon. And what? Hey, isn't an intercontinental ballistic missile a weapon? All right. That's not going to prosper against the elect of Israel. All right. Which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, as well as confusion of faces scattered abroad. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, right? And if you want to look at the attributes of those serving the Lord, just look at Great Millstone, all right? We push out this word continually, consistently, all right? Non-stop, all right? We're showing, the fruits of our labor. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and the righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. Exactly. All right. So if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, and American, and you came across this truth, all right, and it resonates with you, you better start doing the work. You better start, teaching his word. Go on the highways and byways, all right. Push this word out. Do something, all right. Be charitable to those, the Akim that are pushing this word, or you're going to partake in this fire, man. All right. Because this is where faith comes in, belief. And you don't need that, and you don't even you don't even have a big faith, a big large belief, all right, to know that nuclear war is coming, all right, because it's evident. None of these nations are putting this into force because other nations are not ratifying it or signing it. So as of right now, like it says here, but has not entered into force. So as of right now, all these nations are still able to test their nukes. All right? Yeah, you might got some that signed it, ratified it. All right? But until all nations unite together and sign this treaty, guess what? As of today, they all could test their nuclear missiles. All right? And mainly underground. That's why you have a lot of earthquakes. All right? Mainly underground where it could be hidden, so it doesn't cause alarm to their people. Let's go to book of Joel, chapter 2. I'm going to start at 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh. for it is nigh at hand. Right, and that's what we're telling our people. All right, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, as well as the confusion of faces scattered abroad. You better get your mind right. All right, you better come to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, the prophets are out now. They're blowing the trumpet. They're sounding the alarm. They're warning you. Hey, nuclear war is going to happen. We only got a few prophecies to come into fruition before the nukes drop. All right, that's Jacob's trouble. Okay, when the economy collapses, and the RFID chip being pushed, okay, onto the people throughout the earth. That's it. After that, that's when the nukes drop, okay? As well as World War III, all right? Because the final stage of World War III will be when the nukes drop, okay? So this is us warning you. And if you don't want to get into it, well, you're going to partake in this. Verse 2. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right, because once these nukes drop, that's it. The kingdom of heaven comes, all right? Yahweh Shai sits on the throne, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, all right? And the Israelites are ruling over all heathens, all right? All nations. Verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden, before them and behind them a desolate wilderness. Right, and this is mainly talking about here in America, all right? Because you know, you got this, you got a lot of these people here in America, this notion that, hey, this is the Garden of Eden, this is the land of paradise. Well, guess what? These flames, are going to destroy this place, man, and it's not going to be recognized as the Garden of Eden anymore, all right? Is going to be known as a desolate wilderness, all right? Yea, and nothing shall escape them, right? You're not going to escape these nukes that are dropping. Verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses and horsemen, so shall they run. Verse 5. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as the strong people said in battle array. Right, and this is the book, this is Joel, all right, writing this down, and this is how he was describing the nukes dropping, all right, the nukes flying and then dropping, all right. It was like a bunch of soldiers in battle, strong people just on the attack, all right. That's how he was describing it, all right. Because remember, this was written, all right, about 3,000 years ago, all right. So the term nuclear missiles, the term, okay, bomb, in today's standards, all right, wasn't being spoken of back in those days, all right. Verse 6. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. Verse 7. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the walls like men of war. Right, that's these missiles that he's describing, all right. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Right, because once these missiles are shot, there's no stopping them. All right, just get ready for your judgment if you're not part of the elect. Oh, and if you're a heathen dwelling here in America, all right, or wherever you're scattered at, where the nukes will hit, you're just going to burn. All right, you're going to get hit, and you're going to die. And that's just the truth. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in as the windows like a thief. Yeah, man. Just like a thief. Catching you clowns unaware. And that's what's coming to this place, man. Especially here in America. Because, hey, if you look at the people in America, they're in la la land. Their heads in the clouds. They have no idea this is coming, majority of them. Verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble. Right, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, man. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right, and that's when these nukes drop, man. All right, the mushroom cloud is going to cover the sky. All right, it's going to be a very scary time when that day comes. Verse 11, the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. Right, this is the army of the Lord, not just his chariots. All right. His missiles, all right? For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide? Right? The only ones that can abide are the elect, All right, you 2/3 so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, and you heathens, you're not gonna be able to buy, man. You're gonna die. That's your lot. Verse 12. Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to him with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, with mourning. Verse 13. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and great in kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Right, that's what we're telling our people. Turn your heart. All right, repent. All right, come to the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, believe, have faith, do the work, or partake in this coming destruction, because there's no stopping it. Let's go to another scripture. Book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 1. All right, when Isaiah described the same thing. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. Verse 2. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priests, and as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver usury to him. Right. All right. That's talking about everybody that's walking in this earth. Verse 3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord has spoken this word. Right. And that's mainly talking about America, man. All right. So if you're a priest in America, if you're a servant in America, if you're a master, all right, which is equivalent to like your CEO. All right. If you're a maid, if you're a mistress, all right. If you're a buyer, right? Don't we all buy here? If you're a seller, if you're a lender, all right, a bank that loans out. If you're a borrower that borrows from the bank, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver usury, all right? That's what's part of borrowing, all right? Lending out, there's always usury attached to it, meaning interest, all right? You're going to get hit with them nukes. All right, that's your judgment. Verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, right? And this ain't just America, man. This is going to, wherever them nukes are designed to hit, because America's got to shoot their nukes too, all right? That's why they didn't ratify the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, right? Hence the reason why Donald Trump pulled out of the INF Treaty, okay? These nuclear weapons will be shot from all these major superpowers. All right? Don't get it twisted. Verse 5. The earth also defiled on the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Right? And that's why the Lord has put the spirit on these nations to get ready for war. Get ready for World War III. Test their nukes. All right? Don't sign the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. All right? Why? Because the Lord's judging this place. For what? For all its wickedness. None of these nations follow the laws of the Bible. None of these nations follow the laws of the Bible. In fact, they transgress the laws, meaning they commit sin. They break the laws. They change the laws around. All right? Especially here in America, which you got some of these idiot Americans, mainly these are Caucasians, these Edomites claiming this is a Christian nation. No, it has never been. All right, your founding fathers were secret society fuckboys, all right? Freemasons, all right? They didn't care about the Bible, all right, to follow. They only used it to oppress others, mainly our people, all right? Changing scriptures around, all right? Taking things out of the Bible, all right? They called it the slave Bible. A lot of brothers have done videos on that. So that's the reason why the Lord is going to drop nukes on this fucking place. And excuse my French, but it is this place is vexing, man, and it's a bunch of liars out here, man. All right. This whole earth, okay. The leaders of this earth are a bunch of liars and deceivers and frauds and thieves, and that's why the Lord is bringing this nuclear war. Verse 6. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. What's going to burn people? Okay? Nuclear missiles. All the largest nuclear explosions, all right? That's why I put that video in there, all right? All the large nuclear explosions in history, okay? Nuclear missiles going to burn them, period. Point blank, period. And only few men left. And who are going to survive? The elect men of Israel, All right? The 144,000 and the 1/3, as well as the elites that were building these bunkers outside of America. Note, disclaimer, outside of America. Because if you're building a bunker in America, you're going to burn, you stupid motherfucker. All right? Jumping down to 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Meaning, you're not gonna be able to escape. In other words, all right. There's no escaping this judgment. All right. Verse 19: the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly, right? This earth is going to move back and forth when the nukes drop, man. All right? This is what Isaiah saw. This is what he wrote, all right? Because he was given this vision, this prophecy, man, that's going to happen in our lifetime. And that's why if you're not in the spirit of prophecy, the Lord ain't dealing with you, all right? If you want to know who's in the spirit of prophecy, just look at the men of Great Millstone. Verse 20: the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Right. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Have you ever gone to a local bar lately? All right. How does a drunkard walk? All right. He stumbles around, man. All right. That's how the earth is it's gonna move, stumble around, man. All right. It's footing. And it shall come to pass, and that's it. You know. Well, no. Hey, this is beautiful because this is the elites. Where the elites going to be at? Verse 21: and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Right, your leaders. All right. Mainly the ones that are leading behind the scenes. Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your DuPonts. All right, your Oppenheimers, the so-called Illuminati, or we like to call the GMO Illuminati, because really the true Illuminati, the lightened ones, the light bearers are here at Great Millstone, all right? Because we got the knowledge, we got the light, because it's coming out of the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right? This is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is on a man. Verse 22: and they shall be gathered together as prisoners that's gathered in the pit, and they shall be shut up in prison, and after many days shall be visited. Right, because we're going to pull you out of them bunkers, okay? We're going to pull you out of them bunkers when them nukes drop. All right? When them nukes fly. In fact, let me go to Revelation chapter 9. Revelation chapter 6. Excuse me. Just to show exactly where you leaders are going to be hiding at. So let's start out with Book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony which they held. Right, and that's the elect men. Some of the elect men will be put to death for this truth. All right, and the Lord is going to avenge them. Verse 10. And they cried with loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Right. Okay. And, there's a lot of men that came into the truth that died in this truth. And they're out there, crying out. And guess what? The Lord's hearing it. Verse 11. And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Right. And this is talking about now. All right, because when you go into the scriptures, all right, the apostles, all right, majority of them were put to death. Okay, Yahushai, all right, but guess what? You have the elect men now that some of us are going to be put to death in these days. All right, some of us, not all. Verse 12, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Right, what's this talking about? Missiles dropping. Verse 13, the stars even fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Right? Hey, man, them nukes are going to be so powerful, man. You're not going to be able to escape it, man. It's going to be very scary. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. You see? And every mountain and island were moved out of their places, man. That's why Isaiah said, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, man. These nukes are going to, make such a tremendous impact, man, all right, that things are going to be changed, man, on this earth. Mountains are going to be removed. Islands are going to be removed, all right? Verse 15. Now here's the part I was getting at about the leaders, ruling in secrecy. Verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Right, it's talking about your bunkers outside of America. Verse 16. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Right? All right, because it's a judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, this is his judgment. Nuclear missiles dropping on a city near you, on an island near you. All right? Every mountain also represents government, not just mountains themselves, but mountain meaning governments, your governments, any government that you put your faith in. All right, let's make a disclaimer, okay? Because mountains are going to remove from these nukes, but also when it talks about mountain, it also talks about governments. All right, and islands talks about your small governments. All right. Also symbolic for your small nations, while the mountains represent big nations. Okay, just throwing that out there. That's why this truth is beautiful, man, because when you get into words and you start learning on the Apostle of Great Millstone, man, things start to make sense. Things start to paint a big picture, man. All right? And the earth, I read that. Let me go to 16. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. You see that? Because, these elites, they're going to be scared out of their mind. And they're going to know in that day, damn, all right, we're about to be put into prison and we're about to serve the Israelites. Verse 17. But a great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right. None of you heathens and 2/3, man, are going to stand. You're going to die. And the ones that survive, all right, well, 2/3 of our people will die, but the heathens that survive are going into slavery. All right, just get ready. It's coming. And then what do you go? Last scripture. I had a couple of more, but I felt I hit the point. Revelation 15 and 1. This is for the elect, man. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous. 7 angels have the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of Yahweh. Verse 2. Right, so this is part of the plagues, man. All right, nuclear missiles dropping. Verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that have gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh. Right, and this is the elect getting beamed up into what the world ignorantly calls UFOs. All right, they're not unidentified flying objects. They're already identified. All right, those are the chariots of the God of Israel, and they're going to be delivering. All right, his elect that believe on this word. And they're going to see America being destroyed with fire. All right? Because the great deliverance is going to be here in Babylon, America. All right? Which is known as spiritually Egypt and Sodom. Verse 3. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thy King of saints. Right? All right, because this is just. Because the destruction needs to come to this wicked place. This place is wicked. Homosexuality, transgender, pedophilia, democracy, all right? The oppression of the children of Israel. I mean, we can go on and on and on, okay? Oh, chemtrails in the air. Food being poisoned. Come on, man. This place has to be judged, and it will. Verse 4. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only are holy, for all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. Exactly. All right? All you nations are going to bow down to the power. All you nations are going to bow down to the power. Okay? All tongues shall confess. What's that? This will be the last tongue. It shall confess the name of his Salakia. Yeah, Philippians 2 and 11, that's it. Philippians 2 and 11. I'll get to that. Philippians 2 and 11. I'll start at 9. Wherefore Yahweh also hath exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. Right, that's Yahweh Shai, man. All right, his father, okay, gave his only begotten son, all right, the power, okay, to be, and the authority, all right, to put in judgment, all right, and exalting him, all right, because the Yahweh does, okay, the Most High, all right, he's everywhere, man, all right. His son is going to be the one to be sitting on the throne. Verse 10, that at the name of Yahweh Shai, every knee should bow of things in heaven and things in earth and things on the earth, right? Everything's going to bow down to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, to Yahweh Shai, man, all right. Verse 11, and that every tongue should confess that Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh the Father. Right, you're going to confess in that day who the true power is. All right, you're going to confess in that day. All right, and that's what it is. Okay. So with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. And salutation to the Akhmah. They're pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door and keep the faith. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, Shalom and Abad Babal.